Manchester United went strong and early in the market and confirmed the transfer of Matheus Cunha from Wolverhampton Wanderers for £62 million. And they are strongly linked with the Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford, a deal again that would be in the same range, about 60 to 70 million pounds. Matheus Cunha scored 15 goals, and Bryan Mbeumo scored up to 20. After Ivan Toney had departed, actually, Brentford performed even better, him linking up with Yohan Wissa. Manchester United, on the other end, had their own problems, scoring just 44 goals and conceding 54, finishing the season with a goal difference of -10. That was not as good, but they are looking really strong on compensating for that. As if you look for the profile of the players they are bringing in, that's already a combined goal contribution, a goal tally of 35. If you also consider that Cunha had up to 7 assists and Bryan Mbeumo had up to 9, that's also about 15. So you're bringing in about 50 goal contributions into the squad, and that's good news. That means if you compare Manchester United to Liverpool, Liverpool scored up to 86 goals, nearly as double as the tally Manchester United had, actually just only 2 goals less. So United, if they are ready to come back into competitive positions, they need to make such transfers. However, the problem could be if you compare the kind of transfers Manchester United are doing now and the transfers they had last season, there isn't so much of a difference. To remind you, last season Manchester United signed the Mazalawi, De Ligt, and Lenny Yolo, and then in the midfield they signed the Wogate, and then up front they signed Joshua Zirkzee. Midway the season they added in Patrick Dogu to those names. All these are decent signings if you're ready to be sincere. And actually, if you go back and review the predictions for the top 4 positions in the Premier League, most of the Panthers put Manchester United well there. Unluckily, they finished 11 spots away from the top 4, and that was awful. So if you also go back to what are the likely exits from Manchester United, you will see that there is Marcus Rashford, there is Alejandro Garnacho, there is Jadon Sancho, and Anthony. You compare these players to the players Manchester United are signing, maybe you go back 2 or 3 years in time, you will see that the players that are going out were better. Even now, you can't assure me that Bryan Mbeumo is so much better than Alejandro Garnacho, or that Matheus Cunha is well miles away of Marcus Rashford. These are comparable players. You're spending let me say 70, 60 millions on a player you're bringing in, then you're forcing a player who is maybe as talented or even more talented than the one you're bringing in for maybe halfway the price, or you're going to send him on loan and pay half of his wages. That's a problem for Manchester United that I think needs to be really addressed in terms of the structures they have, the people who do business for Manchester United. Because if you do a deal, for instance, of Anthony, and for 80 million pounds, and in 3 years you will end up sending him on loan and paying his wages, that really doesn't add up. And if you're bringing in players who really fairly as good as the ones you're selling, also there are issues. Plus, I think letting the managers sign players, you bring in Jose Mourinho, he signs his defensive-minded players, then you bring in Solskjaer, he does what he does, you bring in There was that man who Ronaldo. I'm forgetting that one. Then you bring in Ten Hag. Also, it does what it does. If you remember Van Gaal, and then Moyes, there is no consistency. There should be really a structure that we are signing these players such that whether the manager stays or leaves, another manager who comes in can work with the same group of players, like we see maybe at teams like Bayern, what Chelsea are trying to adapt to. And if you're to be like Manchester City or Liverpool, where a manager has really a good say to what you're to the kind of transfers you're doing, you should make sure that this kind of managers are trusted for the long run, not just fading 1-2 years and you sack them. Thank you for watching.